right, who wants to start us off today? Rob, right there.
Coach, just comparing it to Friday's game, would you say pretty dissatisfied? How would you describe your team's bounce back? How happy were you?
Well, I thought mentally better. I don't, you never know before the game because, we're very methodical with our game preparation. We try to go about all of them the same way, and that's the one thing is from a coach's standpoint, you're hoping your guys are locked in, and sometimes you never really know until the ball's tossed up and you get playing. But we did come back and play with much more of a purpose in terms of, I thought, really trying to make every possession count. And we knew we were playing a team that, I think they're 344 in the country in terms of pace of play. And we knew they, again, really well coached team. They're going to execute the things that they're trying to get done. And we decided to go with a little more three-quarter court pressure to give them less time to run the actions they wanted to run, and did a good job. We got some out of it. They scored a few out of the little press, but deflections were good. And overall, I would say that I think everyone that played today made some kind of contribution in a positive way, in the ways that we were looking to do that.
Weston, Mike Wilson.
Rick, I think you just talked about this a little bit, but defensively tonight, I know that Presbyterian doesn't play fast, but it seemed like a lot of the buckets they got tonight, you made them work for them. Were you pleased with the defense tonight?
I thought Kennedy, and I would say it's a guy, for the most part, I thought those guys really worked hard at trying to push up on the ball screens. Our coverage was, good for the most part. We obviously had a few breakdowns with it, but we wanted to really not give them anything easy. We knew that they're not a team that they don't shoot a lot of threes, but they really try to can hurt you inside. And they did get some out of posting our guards a couple times. That's something that we're going to see throughout the year. But and give them credit for rebounding. They do an excellent job rebounding the basketball, and they did out rebound us tonight. We shot a very high percentage where we didn't probably have much opportunity to maybe get some more offensive rebounds, but again, I thought our guys locked in. I do. I mean, I think the other night it was a great lesson for them. It's not. Again, I don't care who you play. You're always playing against yourself in so many ways. In terms of you being able to do your job, in terms of the scheme of what we're trying to do, and tonight I do think that we were locked in more from that standpoint.
Rick, two things. One, what did you like about what Justin and BJ gave you tonight? And do you have any update on Josiah timeline-wise and what's next for him?
No, Josiah, I mean, we said it's really day to day, but it was just a matter of time before we felt BJ would get going, and he actually got a little bit too happy. He really took a really bad shot, but he knew it right from the time he took it. But our whole thing with him, and I thought he set a great tone for us defensively. We brought him out on their best player and said, hey, let's really go to work and get lost in the game that way. And Justin's getting better and better with his defense. And I think them watching Santi every day is a big plus for all of our guys because what he brings daily. And when they were in their little soft 2-2-1, they didn't turn us over, but again, we wanted to play through it faster, and it took Kennedy a little bit too long to adjust to it. But nonetheless, again, every game we go out, we know it's a different game, and I think those young guys learn something every night we go out. If nothing else, they realize that every game's a different game, and you've got to make adjustments along the way. But we do think we can shoot the ball, and on any given night, we believe that somebody's going to have a hot hand.
Grant Ramey, then Ben McKee.
Is surgery something that's on the table for Josiah?
No, I don't think so. No, because we think he's on the mend with it, but we just want to be careful with it. I mean, he means so much to our team and our program, but that's not an option that they've talked about right now.
Rick, just with Victor, just what kind of led to him maybe not playing as much as he was like over those first couple of games?
Well, you look at our team. We obviously have depth at the point guard position, and when we go small, that pushes a quote unquote guy that you think is going to play the point guard to the wing, so it gives us even more depth at the wing. And what we talked about tonight was making every minute count. And there's going to be nights when some guys are going to play 24 to 26 minutes, and the very next game they might play 16 to 17, whatever, based on if somebody else is playing well. And I think they understand that. They like each other as a group, and what it is, we understand it. It's hard to play the pace that we want to play and the defense we want to play at the pace. It really is difficult, but so we don't want anybody taking minutes for granted. And but I think that's what these early season games do. But BJ's a great teammate. He is, and we've got a group of guys that, you know, they like each other. I think they respect each other's work ethic, and but they're starting to understand that there will be some nights when they might not play as much as they want to, and there'll be some nights when, if they're ready to do it, they'll get more minutes.
You talked to Lacy about how good of a defender you think Kennedy can be. He had 7 steals tonight. Just what you like about him on defense? Yeah.
Well, again, you know, point guards, they get tagged a lot up there because so much ball screening that people do. And Kennedy, I thought fought hard, trying to really get his coverage right tonight and fight through some screens where really the screen doesn't affect us, where we can kind of stay. And it's simple. You see how electrifying he can be on offense. From a coach's standpoint, you ask the question, why not on defense? You know, getting steals, getting into gaps, setting guys up, and what he's learning to do that every guard in the country has to learn to do, or every player, is understanding you're going to play harder than you've ever played before. You're going to realize that there's so many different levels you can get to, and the key is understanding how do I get out of my comfort zone to do it, and it starts in practice every day. And he had a good. He wasn't very good leading up to the last game, but he was good ever since we talked about it, put it on tape. I mean, his practice preparation was so much better, and I think it showed up for him tonight.
Jack, then Wes will finish up in the back.
Yeah, Coach, at the end of the game, you know, some of the guys like Jemai and Quinn, they got some good minutes there at the end. What are your general thoughts on how they did?
You know, when you look out just to the far right of the stat sheet, everybody's got a positive, and you think about it, I think Shaq went in the game with about a little bit under 7 minutes, and there's not one negative out there, which is, I think, a good sign, because they were out there playing with more time left on the clock than maybe they normally would go out there. And for the most part, I thought they tried to, and we told them, hey, if you don't make these minutes count, wait and see. And we said we want to see execution. Show us that you know what our game plan is. Show us you know what we're doing on out of bounds plays. Let us know that you know what we're doing in terms of ball screen actions, and obviously rebounding. But again, I would say that I thought they all were locked in and trying to do the right thing.
Rick, what's the sort of the next step in Urosh's development? I know it seems like when you watch the game, at least from this vantage point, it looks like he understands what y'all are trying to do on offense and defense, but just finishing sometimes has been the issue. What's the next step?
Well, that would be it. I mean, I think he got caught off guard tonight. Olivier should have shot that ball, and I think Olivier was, again, trying to be a good teammate and give him a chance to score it. And I do think it caught him off guard, but that would be the next step that he makes. I think the biggest thing is when he's in practice and the things that we want him to do in practice, he's done a better job in practice than he has in games, where he's come into the games again almost with the mindset that I think players do. I got to score to stay in the game. And last game he didn't play very much because he was a totally different player than he had practiced for 2 days. And tonight I thought he came out and, you know, he can pass the ball. He understands our scheme. Do I think he needs to get in better shape physically? I do, and I think you would tell you that too. And that goes back to being able to kick yourself through the wall when you're tired. But being around the rim, our guards are going to create some opportunities where those guys are going to get a lot of those little shots right there. And those shots are more difficult than you might think, with people's hands flying around there everywhere. But to answer your question, he does need to get better at finishing those shots around the rim.
Hey, Coach, what's it been like finding the right balance, the point guard position, especially after Zakai's big performance against North Carolina?
Well, it goes back to every game is a different game, and we expect guys to, not to think, okay, I've done it one time. I mean, every game's a different game, and we're going to have different lineups. I mean, we got a lot of different guards that we can play, and it goes back to what I said. It's all going to get down to reliability, consistency, and who can we truly rely on every single night and know what we're going to get. And Zakai's a mentally tough guy, but he's still learning a lot of things too. And he's going to continue to get better, obviously. But it's like I said with all these guys. Some nights he might play more than others. Kennedy might play more. It's going to be based on who's getting the job done. But over the whole course of the season, consistency and reliability will shake those minutes out.
Thank you, Coach.
Okay, thank you guys.